It is saying that we're live. I just want to make sure I want to see it. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. All right. So far, the connection says it's good. All right. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check our page to make sure that it's actually doing the thing. Right now, if anybody's on there, they're seeing the Moon Man fly. Yeah. All right. We go to the channel. Yep. It's there. So yeah, man. We are on right now, gentlemen.
Doing the thing?
We're doing the thing. We're doing
Best behavior, children.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, man, we didn't even talk about how we wanted to set it up. Do y'all want me to set it up? Or
Yeah, set it up.
okay.
Set us up.
Set the thing
Set
up.
the thing up.
So we
Yeah.
can contribute.
All right.
Yeah, so that the people can know what we're doing.
Mr. Producer,
Hello,
man.
people.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, people.
Hello, people.
You can actually see us. You can actually see us, doing our thing. Welcome, gentle listeners,
Look at this. It says
to
we're
the
live. Look at
yeah, it
this.
says we're live. Yeah, to the
the marvels
inaugural.
of technology.
Top Guys live stream.
Welcome to the 3D heads
Yes.
doing D-head things.
Chris, do you like that I'm
Diverse.
talking in my subtle seduction voice right out the bat? Right out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to some and present to others my esteemed
Oh,
co-host.
yeah.
First,
Yeah.
the only man I trust who has 3 first names, Chris James Scott, with the greatest mohawk I think I've ever seen.
That's a lie.
No,
Come
no.
on.
You
Come on
again.
now.
Listen, it's you. It's Mr.
Now-
T. And right now,
Listen.
I got the nod is to you, sir.
Well, time is on my side. Clubber Lang's best days are behind him, unfortunately.
That's
Um, and I like Mr. T, love my mama. Shout out to you.
there it is.
Super Sky Point to mama.
Yes,
Damn right. Damn right.
Yeah.
One's up.
one's up. Yeah, there it is.
But yeah, thank
And-
you for that lovely introduction.
Yes.
Okay. Please take the spotlight off of me.
I will take it. I will take it off of you.
Our other
Yeah.
cohort.
So that I can introduce to some and present to others. My main man, since we were 15 years old.
Man, 50 grand.
And, not doing our math homework, in algebra class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day when you had to put coverings on your books that you made from grocery bag paper because we was poor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
My man, Devon Sanders. Yes. Yes. Oh man, we got chat. Rico Renzi
Rico.
says
Let me just say
repping
I'm
no
wearing
longer
Rico's
mint on
t-shirt.
camera. Blessed.
NoLongerMint.com. You can pick up this shirt. Probably.
Nice.
There it is. You said you're gonna shout him
Along
out,
with
and there it
others.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to get my man in there.
Wow.
We got 3 concurrent viewers and 1 like so far, gentlemen.
All right.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I think these are coming in
Yeah.
delayed, but I'm keeping an eye on it.
Well, all 3 of you, we're going to try and keep you entertained. If we can double that, I might go shirtless. Who knows?
Oh, and Pop Culture Tourist says, villain of the pod, looking to get virtually 1-inch punched by the top guys.
Now hang on. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that goal And for the shirtlessness, that's only for Devon. Okay, you never. Nope. Hair, arms look great. Not the rest. No, sir. No. No. I got about 30 pounds of pandemic weight to shed before I start taking my shirt off around people that ain't my wife. So no.
All right.
I ain't mad at it. All right.
So, Omar, why don't you introduce yourself?
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me please to introduce to some and present to others myself. My name is Omar K. Mills. And the reason that I'm saying it like this is because everything just sounds better when I say things like this.
With velvet.
With velvet, yes.
I fully expected your ass to say, my name is Trumpy. Like, I absolutely, like, I knew you were saying it.
I didn't think of it. I wish I had. I wish I had thought of that. I would have absolutely said it.
Oh, boy.
I totally would have
So
done
why
it.
don't we tell the people what we're doing this week?
Thank you, Devon.
Thank you, Devon.
Thank you.
Devon keeps us from super kicking. Because otherwise, that's all we would do. Me and Chris have to be watched. Devon, would you like to tell the audience why we're here?
Sure. We this week, our very first live, we are doing something for one of our stalwart listeners, now hopefully watchers, Ronino from Instagram. He requested about 2 months ago, hey, you know what you should do? And he doesn't sound anything like that. But he said, hey, you know what you should do? How about a top 5 martial arts flicks? Ronino is actually a very good martial artist. He practices jiu-jitsu, and this is for him. We are doing top 5 martial arts flicks. Although one of my things is not a flick. It is a cartoon. I don't care what Chris has to say. I'm gonna do what I want to do because I'm a grown ass man.
I'm sorry. I believe the question posited by our esteemed listener was movie, and your ass come to me a couple days ago. Can I do cartoon?
Yes.
Can I do an episode of television?
Yes. And
not a movie. Not a motion picture.
Well, everything I do is a movie, damn it, except for this one. So let's go.
Okay, Kmart, Jim Kelly. Let's keep it going.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
So y'all want to get it started? You know,
I mean, let's
who would like to kick us off?
Can I say this?
Please, sir.
Can I ask this?
Uh-oh.
Do we all happen to have Enter the Dragon on our list?
I know I do.
I do not.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Then it's not a consensus thing. So okay.
I do not believe
I'm just going to tell you right off the bat. Enter the Dragon is on mine.
I do not believe that we will have overlap with any of the choices on my list.
Okay.
I think I think
you and I might, sir. We might. Yeah.
I think we should establish the fact that this is not an objective list.
Oh,
this
absolutely
is very subjective. These are the 5 that mean the most to each of us.
Yes.
Okay. And mine is in no particular order, although the one at the top is probably going to be the last.
Why don't we kind of do a round robin type?
Absolutely.
I like it.
Okay. You know, everybody's 5 and then 4.
Right.
Such and such.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have honorable mentions as well. If you gentlemen want to throw in, you know, as you're doing them, like, hey, if there's something that didn't make you
honorable mentions before our number 1 pick.
That's what I'm thinking. So if there was one that you were like, I wanted to say this, but I limited it, that's why I did that.
Okay.
Man, I really wanted to shout out the first half of Matrix Part 2 because
because I was like, there's some things that are not like full flicks that I like, but they got scenes that when they're on, I'm gonna stop and watch that. So that's where I like the framing for my honorable mention.
I understand that. Yeah. All right,
Chris, you wanna get this thing going, get us started?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be on me. You're gonna start on me. Okay,
let's go.
Right. Okay, starting off my list, in no particular order, but we're gonna put it at number 5. Street Fighter 2, the motion picture. Now, before before you give me the weird looks, this
Mhm.
is not the Tour de Force starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia. No,
Mm.
no, no. This is the anime that came
Aha.
out just around the same time that more closely adapts, well, basically gathers together the loose scraps of paper that at the time counted as Street Fighter lore into a discernible motion picture. Um, it is so good that they basically readapted it into the lore of the game. Like without this movie,
Mm.
we don't get Street Fighter Alpha like the video game series. We don't get like all
Mm.
that like that history with Ken and Ryu like training under their master. You don't get like Akuma coming out. You know, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens because of that. But let me talk about the movie
Yes,
itself.
sir.
I myself am a comic book artist. I am a professional graphic designer. I went to school for animation. This movie means so much to me because it is probably the richest and most thoroughly animated fight sequences you are going to see in a thing. And like, you know, mind you, like I'm not talking like the spectacle of like particle effects or any kind of like sakuga that you could find in like Demon Slayer or anything like that. Like surely that stuff is on its own list and own tier above this, but like for hand-to-hand fights in animation, nobody gets their ass whooped in as gloriously professional fashion as they do in this movie. Like dudes are catching hands, like you feel it. Just and this is lines on paper, man. It's beautiful. I cannot give it the higher recommendation if you have not seen it. And also if you saw it at a formative age, there's a Chun-Li sequence that we don't need to go into detail about, but hey,
Mm.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
Uh, it is what it is. The 90s. But oh man, the fight between her and Vega, like top tier fight choreography in animation. Like I would put it up against most things. It's so good. And the soundtrack when they dubbed it over here, like a who's who of grunge metal. Like there's like KMFDM, Alice in Chains,
Oh,
Silverchair.
you
Like
sold me.
who remember
Mm.
Silverchair, right? Like
No, Alice in
He
Chains.
said Alice in
That's
Chains
my
alone on
favorite
that,
rock
right?
band of all
Yeah.
time.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh dude, it's dope. Bison tries to run over Ryu with a Mack truck. It's crazy. It's dope.
All right, sold.
Yeah.
Did you have
Street
an
Fighter
honorable
2,
mention,
the
Chris?
animated movie. What's up?
Did you have an honorable mention as well?
I thought we were doing the honorable mentions before our number one.
Oh, was that the honorable mention?
No. That's
No,
my
that
number
was
five.
number
Oh,
five.
you can do all of them before the.
Yes.
Ah, got you. I was okay. I
was
was
number
We're gonna do 5, 4,
I,
3, 2.
I was confused.
Honorable mention
Got you.
1.
Got you. Okay.
So please continue.
Devon,
Oh,
you're number 5,
well,
sir.
Okay. All right. So we had this conversation about what constitutes a choice here, and I asked the question: could I have an episode of a cartoon series? And Chris, the gatekeeper that he is,
Wow.
was like, "No, you can't. It's against the rule. It's against the vampires can't go out in daylight, and
Wow.
even Jewish vampires can get
He coming for you.
they melt at
Be
the
careful.
cross." I'm not doing that. But no, it's like, who makes the rules? Who watches the Watchmen? I don't know. Anyway, so
You gonna loop it back around to a point?
yeah, I'm getting back to the point. The point is right here. So when this thing came out, I just remember sitting there watching and just going, I don't think I've ever been so moved by fight choreography in my whole life. And keep in mind, when this thing came out, there was a Matrix. There was a, well, that's going to be on one of my things. Long story short, my choice is Justice League Unlimited Grudge Match. Justice League Unlimited Grudge Match was an episode of Justice League where the female members of the Justice League were abducted by roulette and put into a pit to fight for basically cash and prizes by the underworld. And just the sound design on this thing, it just sounds like everybody, when they're punching wet sand. And I'm serious. It just, and the yeah. I mean, the voice actresses, who was it? Marina Baccarin was Black Canary. What was her name? Amy Acker was Huntress. Gina Torres was Vixen. And Wonder Woman was also in this. I can't remember the voice actress who did Hawk Girl. But if you can imagine, like, what was it? It was like 6 of like the greatest female fighters of the DC universe in a pit, just going for it. Like, I would have loved to have just been in the recording session where like Gina Torres is like, you know? But the thing of it was just the fight choreography in this thing was just phenomenal. It is the one episode of Justice League Unlimited I can just throw on any given time. You don't need to know what the underlying vision of Justice League Unlimited is. It is just one big, long, choreographed fight scene that culminates with Wonder Woman rising up from the ground and the other women in the pit just going, we dead.
We're dead.
We're dead. So yes,
put the boots to them.
Yes, and the ending that we get is one of the most satisfying, in the sense, I don't want to tell you what the ending is. Go to HBO Max, wherever you can find it streaming. Go watch Justice League Grudge Match. That is my choice.
I respect it.
I thought you were going to talk about Quick Kick and G.I. Joe, like kicking tanks and stuff.
No. Grudge Match. Justice League Unlimited.
All right. I like it. All right.
Omar.
Yes, sir. All right.
Your number 5, sir.
My number 5. All right. So this was tough. Are you? I know you all said we would wait till number 1, but I have an honorable mention for each one of these. Is it all right if I do them as I go? Like 5 honorable mention and then do number 5?
It's your world, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to make sure I want to, I want to be within the rules.
Devon makes it seem as though I am a dictator, but please explore the space.
I didn't want any smoke. Devon wants smoke. I did not. I don't want any of those problems. My honorable mention is a movie called Equilibrium. So now this is pre-Batman. Pre-Batman Christian Bale. Christian Bale, yeah. Where he does like gun kata, where it's kung fu with guns, but it's like, everybody was sort of riffing off the Matrix around that time. But what stands out to me about Equilibrium is that Taye Diggs is in it, and he plays this law enforcement officer named Brent. And I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen Equilibrium. Just trust me, Taye Diggs takes the.
You don't have to worry about spoiling.
Okay, yeah,
yeah. Hey, what if 1984 had kung fu in it?
More or less. Taye Diggs gets his entire face cut off. I mean, you see it slide down. Yeah, right. And that is very satisfying to me.
Very satisfying.
Yeah, as is Christian Bale doing kung fu with guns, pre-John Wick. So, we had never seen anything like that. So that's my honorable mention. But my number 5 is Mystery of Chess Boxing. Wu-Tang Clan. Now, what's interesting is I did not know this initially, but it's classic revenge flick. You kill my father, and so the dude has to get revenge. The style that the main protagonist has to learn is called Chinese chess, and that speaks to me because it's a chess player. But and I did not know this until I went back to do some research as I was prepping for this. The film's villain is called Ghostface Killer.
I
did not know that.
I did not know that's where that
What
came
this
from.
dude does is he takes a Ghostface killing plate. When he goes up to attack people, he just throws it at them. And they're like, oh, no. And then my man proceeds to just beat the crap out of him. So obviously, Ghostface Killer was inspired by Ghostface Killer. And it's just that alone, just the ties to Wu-Tang, the chess, the fact, and it's
just the whole eureka moment of it.
Yes, the classic, fights. Oh, please, Devon. Yes.
Ghostface Killer is my favorite rapper.
Then this was meant. It was meant to be. It was meant to be my choice. It all fits. All right. So that is my number 5. So Chris, sir, we will circle back around to you, good sir.
Okay. My number 4. I'm looking at my list. I'm crossing them off as we talk about them.
Right.
I'm going to move one down to number 4 controversially.
Okay. Calling an audible.
Okay. Rumble in the Bronx. And it has a big old asterisk next to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to the asterisk in a bit.
I saw that in theaters.
Rumble in the Bronx?
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, that I had seen on HBO back in the day, because for those playing the home game, once upon a time HBO was like a cable channel, and we watched it on the regular television. And you had A side and B side and stuff. So anyway, The Protector was on late at night one day. It was Danny Aiello for the Do the Right Thing. Was in a cop drama with Jackie Chan, and it was oh, Jackie Chan, that's cool, but it wasn't a Jackie Chan movie. You know what I mean? It was him in an American shaped box. Okay. But Rumble in the Bronx was while it was a movie that was clearly aiming to get a wider Western appeal, never sacrificed the just the unique flavor of Hong Kong action cinema and Jackie Chan movies to do it. That is peak Jackie Chan for me. Is I don't want no trouble, Jackie Chan, and he is just beating the hell out of an entire room of dudes who are like a street gang that are seemingly staffed by, and the youngest dude looks like he's 37. It what are we doing? Don't even think about it. It's so good. Every fight is so good. All the NPC characters are so good. It's almost like you could take that and shift certain elements around, and you basically have Jackie Chan adventures a decade later. But the reason I have an asterisk next to it, and the reason I moved it down to number 4, because I rewatched it this week in preparation for this. Because in my head, it's this is golden. It's perfect. Jackie Chan in the turtleneck tank top. Oh, dude, he's got ultimate tune force. He's whooping ass with refrigerators and golf clubs and all kinds of stuff. He's ruining every pinball machine in sight. It's amazing. And then the evil white guys show up, and there's a hovercraft chase at the end of the movie. It makes no damn sense. And it's just, that movie in the last 20 minutes just goes left. It's what are we doing? What's happening? And then he fixes it up. How we fix up the hovercraft? Duct tape. and it's like what? But like in that weirdness lies Jackie Chan's true passion as an auteur, because he's big Buster Keaton guy. So like all of those gags, everything about Jackie Chan as a performer, as an artist, is encapsulated in Rumble in the Bronx, for good or bad. That is why it is on my number 4.
I respect that. Good choice. Devon.
Theaters, and I just kind of remember I think it might have actually been my first Jackie Chan movie.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was. But now I just want to make sure Rumble in the Bronx was the one where they ran one of the guys through a wood chipper.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't see it, but the guy
You
shows
don't
up at the
see it,
clubhouse
but
with the trash bag.
random black guy in Hong Kong shows up with his friend in a trash bag and says they killed him. They killed him. That's the movie, right?
It's not Hong Kong.
Okay, I
It's
thought it
the
was Hong Kong.
Bronx.
The
quote
Bronx.
unquote, but
Okay.
it's Vancouver.
Okay, it is Vancouver.
Okay. Chad is saying
Okay.
Someone else is saying that that was their first one too. First
Oh,
Jackie.
nice,
Yeah.
man.
Nice.
Pop culture tourist is saying that.
Pop culture tourist. I think that's Greg. Hello, Greg.
Yes.
How you doing?
God, Greg,
Yes.
the famous.
Not enemy of the
Not
pod,
enemy of the
Greg.
pod. Greg was like, I want smoke. I'm here.
Hello, Greg.
I love it. Love it.
Devon, I believe the ball is in your court.
Sure, sir.
All right. This
Dunk
one.
it.
You know what? I'm just going to say one word, and that's the dunk. Blade.
Oh,
Blade.
okay.
A lot of people don't really think of this as a martial arts flick, but
That's
Wesley Snipes is ending people with the power of capoeira.
Man, cut.
No,
just
it totally
know
fits the criteria.
that's going to be a clip.
Capoeira is a martial art. He's swinging swords while taking out vampires and saving Marvel as we know it. Because what a lot of people don't actually realize, and this is why for those, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but just go see Deadpool Wolverine. Just go see Deadpool Wolverine. There is a pop moment in there where someone walks in, and it might be Blade, but they walk in and the roof just comes off of the theater that I was in. Because while 2 and 3 of Blade might not have been great, the first one was incredible.
You say
And
2's not great?
2, I enjoy
I
2.
don't think 2 was
Oh,
that
don't do
great.
that.
Two
Don't
is
do that.
excellent.
2 is
Okay,
fantastic.
We're not doing this. We're not
No,
doing this.
no, we're doing this.
My-
We're doing this.
We're doing this.
We're doing this.
My-
You take that back.
We're talking about Blade, not 2, not
I
Trinity.
know where you live.
We're
but
talking
Trinity we
about
agree,
Blade.
but 2 you will put respect on 2's name.
Guillermo del Toro didn't make a great movie for you to just disrespect.
I'm saying.
Like that.
I'm saying, don't you do that.
All right,
Watch
all
your
right,
mouth.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Make the same.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. But as far as the first one goes, that was Stephen Norrington.
Yep.
Yeah, Stephen Norrington. Just it is so 90s with that pulsing, like you know, what do you call it? Electronica soundtrack, and it is just beautifully gory, and the story actually is a good one. The special effects are not quite where they need to be, but we're also talking about computer special effects in the late 90s. So basically they were kind of running shit, they were running things with like what I would say basically like Photoshop, maybe. I don't know. It just doesn't look good compared to what's going on right now. But what makes Blade a great movie is honestly the fight scenes. Like if you just did a super cut of nothing but fight scenes, I think that would just be like the best thing in the whole world.
Wesley Snipes be doing his thing. That's
He
for
did
sure.
his
Yeah,
thing.
he's real deal.
He did
yeah.
his thing.
I routinely wear that YouTube video out. So yes, I agree.
Oh, there is one. Like a super cut of just
so
I
many.
didn't know that. Okay.
So many.
All right. So yeah, that's my pick. Number 4, Blade.
I like
a movie that saved Marvel.
That's a fact.
Not just Marvel Comics. Marvel.
Yeah.
Period.
Oddly enough, that is my is it the first? Yeah, it might be the first movie soundtrack that I bought.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I was like, "Hey, Ma, I need this one." The Wesley Snipes movie? Yes. Hand it to me.
Rico in the chat is saying he was killing those fight scenes in Demolition Man as well. And
oh yeah,
yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, Demolition Man's another good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of my friends, I if they're listening, I sorry for taking your idea, but once upon a time they suggested to me that Wesley Snipes as Simon Phoenix is the best on-screen Joker we'll ever get, and I can't dispute that.
Wow.
Yep.
That's yeah. I can't. Like I never. That's a thought I never would have had, but now I can't unsee that.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
27 p.m. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Omar.
Yes, sir.
You're number 4.
My number 4. All right. So, quick honorable mention for number 4. This is a scene from The Matrix Reloaded. It is Neo versus the thugs of the Merovingian, where he stops all the where he stops all the bullets and it proceeds to beat the living snot out of everybody. If that is on, I will watch from there all the way up through the end of the highway scene. I don't need anything else from that movie. I need those scenes, and I'm good. And I was like, it's so good that I'm okay with The Matrix Reloaded being a thing. Because I'm in that camp that is, they didn't need to make any more. Right. The Matrix was enough in and of itself. But I must have that scene. So if you could somehow tack those scenes onto The Matrix, I'm good. So that's my honorable mention. Merovingian thugs versus Neo. My number 4, however, is Way of the Dragon. Now, this was also called Return of the Dragon, depending on where you were in the world when you saw it. I saw this in theater with my uncle.
Just a clarifying statement. Question.
Yes, sir.
This Coliseum fight, not the Chinese Connection.
Not Chinese Connection. This is
okay.
Chuck Norris, Coliseum. I mean, just that alone on this. But there's also a scene. And what's interesting about this movie is that this is the directorial film that Bruce Lee actually finished. He never finished Enter the Dragon. He never finished Game of Death. He started them, but never finished. This is the first one that he saw end to end. So there's that, and it's just the scenes where it's him versus just a gang of dudes with weapons, and there's the one dude that won't fight him, won't engage him. He keeps saying, "Get him." And Bruce Lee just proceeds to beat the snot out of everybody and then finally beats that dude. But just Chuck Norris, like, I didn't know who Chuck Norris was, but I knew after that movie, Chuck Norris was Chuck Norris the first person I ever saw put Bruce Lee on the ground in anything that I had seen. So this is me 5-6 years old with my uncle going to see this. And I remember I wouldn't watch Return of the Dragon or Way of the Dragon for a while because I didn't want to see Bruce Lee get beat up by Chuck Norris. And then, he of course gets up. And what's interesting about that fight is it was him sort of everything he did. Like if you've ever seen the unedited cut of Game of Death, and I didn't know this was a thing till years after I'd seen the actual, film, the released, the one that was actually released in theaters. Later on, I remember the same uncle that took me to see Way of the Dragon was like, "Do you know there's a cut of Game of Death where Bruce Lee has like 2 other dudes with him?" I'm like, "What do you mean he had 2 other dudes with him?" I'm like, when he's going up the levels, he's like, "Yeah, there's like entire scenes of dialogue," and I'm like, Bruce Lee was by himself, and he was like, "No." They made you think he was by himself, but he had 2 dudes with him, and there's a whole where he's giving all his philosophy. Well, they show that in the Coliseum fight because he's fighting with a style, and that's why Chuck Norris is beating him up. And the minute he starts like dancing and not fighting with a style, fighting more loose, which fits with his. And Rico, you correct me in the chat if I'm off on this, but I think it's that style where there is no style. What's your style? The art of fighting without fighting. It's more that than that we see on screen. And that's what that's a film that as a kid, I didn't want to watch because I didn't want to see my hero get beat up, and then have to come back and win. But as an adult, you appreciate it. Oh, wait, and Rigo's saying, Karate Man Bruce on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. And he is correct.
Not Karate Man.
Karate Man. I Bruce on the inside.
Because I'm a karate man.
But
Man,
yes.
In real life, Chuck Norris will peel the skin off you.
Oh, you know what? Another fun fact about that, I didn't know this until I watched an interview with Chuck Norris talking about this. Bruce Lee apparently would not kick to the head. And Chuck was like, "Why don't you kick to the head?" And he was like, "Well, no, I'm not trying to get it blocked. And so Chuck was like, "Well, listen, man, let's drill. Let's do this." Because at the time, Chuck was I believe the world champion. This was around 76. They're filming this. Somebody fact check me. But Chuck was like, "You should do head kicks." And so Bruce practiced them. And that's why you see a lot of that when they do this fight. So Chuck was actually the one sort of coaching him in that fight choreography as well, and just as martial artists. So that also is a beautiful thing. That is my number 4.
All right.
I would also say that that fight, if you want to break it down, could be used as the basic skeleton for all 2 out of 3 falls matches.
Yes. I like the way he honored him too after he killed him.
Yeah, man.
Like a gladiator. I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, but hey, hero comes in, the adversary puts him down in decisive fashion for the first fall. Our hero has to rise up, gets the second fall, and then they meet in the third round as for real equals. And now it's like all stops are off. It's like, let's go. And that's every 2 out of 3 falls match you've ever seen.
Facts.
It's that. Perfect.
Facts.
Great.
Chris, we're going to flow right back to you. Number 3.
Okay. My number 3. Yep. The movie with the most terrifying 4'11" man in cinema. The Raid Redemption, baby. And the only reason that is part 1 and not part 2, because I think part 2 has superior fight scenes, is because as a whole, like when you talk about like rewatchability, like the whole presentation as a film, beginning, middle, end, I think the first one kicks the second one's ass. I think the second one is dope, but it's kind of, the focus is kind of, it's more loose. You lose some of the intensity and suspense of it not being in a building and them working their way to try and get out, like all that. But anyway, so the Raid. What can I possibly add to the conversation about the Raid that has not yet been expounded upon? Like, yo, it's the most brutal fights that you'll ever see, man. Like, yo, dude, just dying, just like when Rama like pulls the dude's head forward on the splintered door, in the frame. Oh, ah, and just the little dude is like he is terrifying. Like I would put that little dude. And I'm saying little dude like he doesn't have a name, like he's not a human. But you put him in a room with a xenomorph's getting his ass whooped. Like he's gonna push the xenomorph like right out. It's oh man. And then the 2-on-1 fight with him at the end, and just it's so good.
You can make me rewatch
gentlemen,
this because it's been a minute. So you can make me rewatch this. It's been a minute.
Oh, dude, you should.
Yeah.
You should. You should. Interesting story about the Raid is when it came out, it was around the same time that Dread came out with Carl Urban.
Okay.
And dude, it's like that was the year, I want to say it was 2012, 2013. That was like the year of the Be in a Building and Get Out movie. It was so good. It was a great time to be an action fan. Man, just everything about the Raid is perfect. The cinematography, the intensity, just it's the driving force. Like you are like you need to get out of this building, and everyone in it wants you dead. So good. It's so good. Ain't nothing like it. That's my number 3.
I love it. Devon Sanders, your number 3, kind sir.
Damn, my whole Christian name.
Your whole Christian name. I had to throw that out there. Yeah, gotta say the whole thing.
The whole one.
The whole thing.
Devon Isaac.
2/3.
Bartholomew.
2/3. Yeah.
Ezekiel Sanders.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me, the 5 deadly venoms.
Nice.
Yes. I realized, like, when Wu-Tang put out Into the 36th Chamber, that I kind of had the same growing up experience as the Wu-Tang Clan, where in DC, and it's not there anymore, of course, but the husk, the structure of it is still there. There was a movie theater called the Ontario, and the Ontario would show 2 movies for like $2 back in the 70s and the 80s. Yeah. And
bring that back.
Yes.
I know, seriously. And the thing was, they never cleared out the theater. So you could go in to watch The Never Ending Story, and you could stay for Purple Rain. So, yeah. So that could be your day.
Back in the day.
Right.
You go in and I ain't leaving.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, back in the day, they made movies with the expectation that you had other shit to do in the day.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
You could do a double feature and then go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was a kid, they just did not care. They just wanted the money. So you were able to walk into this movie theater and see just about anything. No ID required. At 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. So I went to go see the 5 Deadly Venoms, and I had my little mind blown because, my God, it just had everything that you could possibly want as a kid. Like a guy doing things. He's a snake. Yeah, I'm doing snake stuff. Yep. I'm doing toad stuff. And it's just
Scorpion.
like my scorpion.
Lizard.
I'm doing scorpion stuff. And when you're a kid, you don't need to plot be damned.
Yeah,
just a man dressed up like a scorpion.
Yes.
Who says he's a scorpion
yes.
and he's doing scorpion stuff.
I'm good.
To this day, I still can't quite tell you what the plot was. I know that like there was something going on with revenge.
With revenge.
Yeah, with
killed
revenge.
My father.
Yeah, you killed my father. And so he's like, I'm putting the band back together. All 5 of my deadly venoms.
Yes.
Oh, just take me back. Just take me back to like those days where you just had time to kill, and you could kill time by watching something like the 5 Deadly Venoms. I need to put that back on my queue. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
It might be on YouTube, actually. You probably watch it on YouTube. would be
Yeah,
my guess.
So yeah, go watch the Five Deadly Venoms. It's been a few years since I've seen it, but it is honestly one of those movies that just you close your eyes and you just go, "Oh man, I had an awesome childhood."
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, go watch Five Deadly
Look,
Venoms.
One, Scorpion has the greatest hairdo of any
Yes.
villain ever.
Yes.
It's like the ponytail in the pulled back with down
Yeah.
into the Shang Tsung mullet. It's great.
Yeah.
According to Google, Five Deadly Venoms can be viewed on everything. So
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
whatever you got,
Go see.
go watch Five Deadly
Two,
Venoms.
not 3, not 4, but the 5 Deadly Venoms.
Thank you, Booker T. Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. So this is the first overlap that we've had. So I'm going to pivot because I too had the Five Deadly Venoms at number 3. So great minds, kind sir, great minds. You know,
Bold minds.
Yes. 5 makes a symbol and a fist. Right, Devon, shout out. You know, that's some inside. You know, only me and Devon know about that. All right, so number 3, Chris, like, why you leave me out? I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you like as part of it.
You don't need to include me.
I'm
good.
All right.
I'm good.
Okay. He said, I'm good. All right.
Not everything is for everybody, and that's okay.
That is a fair point, sir. So I'm going to pivot and make my honorable mention my number 3, since we had the same number 3, and that is the Chinese Connection.
Yes.
Yeah. The Bruce Lee just. What's interesting about this movie is that I did not know the racism, you know, and the anger that went on between Japanese and Chinese that they were depicting in this film. I had no idea. And as, you know, someone black growing up in America, I'm like, wait, it's not just against us. This happens, and like it was kind of mind blowing to me being a child looking at this, and to see how Bruce Lee. One, I did not again. So just to pivot briefly, I do have questions. Why is Bruce Lee the only one that can fight out of his whole school? Nobody else.
Because he's the star.
He's granted.
It's his movie.
Can't nobody else but him can fight.
Ain't nobody else in the movie named Bruce Lee. That's why he is
fair.
the one that can fight.
That's a fair point.
He the one putting asses in the seats.
That is you right. That is more
or
than
the
fair.
tape in the VCR, as we will.
That's very true. All I know is this man went into an entire school and beat the snot out of everybody in there. And it was the first time I don't know if he used nunchucks in The Big Boss. I know in The Big Boss he beat up he did use them in that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so he brought him back in this. I know about The Big Boss that he beat up dudes eating a bag of chips, which is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Just as an aside, if you want to see something that's awesome, do a YouTube search on The Big Boss, the end fight scene, and watch Bruce Lee beat up people while eating potato chips. It is one of the greatest things that I've ever seen. But Chinese Connection, he beat up an entire school. Then later on in the film, they brought in sort of like this was sort of pre-Chuck Norris. Let me go get this dude that's supposed to beat up Bruce Lee. And this guy, the thing I remember about him is he's wearing these suspenders. And you got the final boss standing next to the dude in suspenders who had like this curly afro looking like Greatest American Hero. And he starts out kind of just flicking his suspenders, you know, where he's having a conversation with the final boss. And he looks at Bruce Lee and he was, you know, the final boss getting ready to take him on. And he was like, no, let me take care of him. And he starts flicking the suspenders. And Bruce Lee does that. You all have seen this because they did it in The Last Dragon, where he starts doing the hand wave. And I don't know what that did, but it was kind of like Superman's S. Like, I don't know what martial arts move this is, but apparently it mesmerized dude enough that Bruce Lee beat him down. So the wavy hand technique was awesome. It is just like Superman throwing the S in Superman 2, or just better. Wavy hands.
Okay, the wavy hand technique. I'm
Chinese
gonna try
connection.
that. The next time I'm street fighting, I'm gonna try.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, it worked for Bruce Lee. You
Who
never
gonna
know.
get
You
shot?
know? Yeah. Like you do this, and I'm just pow, right? And the way that he finishes the final boss, the jump, the fact that Bruce Lee can just jump that high just from standing is just ridiculous. Like he was doing this, like I don't need wires, I don't need CG. I will just jump and kick you in the throat. That's essentially what he did to that man. Chinese Connection, fantastic. Again, I'm flip flopping from Five Deadly Venoms, but I don't mind Chinese Connection at number 3.
I'm with it.
Chris James
Respectable.
Scott. So I throw it back to you.
Well, for my number 2, there is no list shifting. This is straight up. It would be a movie directed by a titan of martial arts cinema, Mr. Corey Yun, who we as a fandom discovered this week earlier. That's a sentence. Earlier this week, that he unfortunately passed away in 2022 to COVID. I believe Jackie Chan shared that with the world. Because they kept it quiet because his family wanted it to be quiet. That's what I heard. So my number 2. It's the 4th movie we're talking about.
Yes.
It's my number 2 on my list. Thank you. Keeping them honest. It's Yes, Madam. Featuring 1985 Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock.
Oh, okay.
Michelle Yeoh is a like a Hong Kong cop, and Cynthia Rothrock comes in from Scotland Yard. I don't know why Scotland Yard. Actually, it actually wraps up into the narrative. Like Michelle Yeoh is meeting a friend from her old days or something. Some white guy that happened to be trading an illegal microfilm of some kind of contract. It's an Alfred Hitchcock thing, right? Like it's a thing in a box that somebody wants. They kill his ass, and Michelle Yeoh's like, "Oh no, my friend." Comb the entirety of Hong Kong and find these dudes, and they find them at the airport, and then Cynthia Rothrock comes in. But anyway, not talking about the story. I'm talking about the fights. Yo, it like the
Michelle Yeoh.
Nice. I thought it, but I didn't say it.
Thank you.
Boo.
We both deserve that boo. Because I was gonna say it. I was like, Michelle, yo. Chris, I just want to say I was on good behavior, and Devon gave me permission to be a fool.
Devon ruined it for you. You both get a frowny face sticker. That's what you get. You're terrible. We can't. No, we're gonna stay professional. Okay, we're gonna stay professional. Right. But anyway, Yes, Madam. It's so dope. Like the whole tone of the movie is kind of all over the place because it's like this gritty, almost neo-noir, but it's also like a comedy. But like people straight up die, and it's that weird tonal whiplash that kind of only exists in like golden age Hong Kong action cinema, where like, yes, we're dealing with like life and death situations here, but also she beat that dude to death with an umbrella. Like there's something innately comedic about it. So just roll with it. It almost looks like Miami Vice.
Ooh, okay.
Like kind of like the way that it's shot, like the way that Hong Kong is lit in it. Like it's so cool. There's a lot of, oddly enough, shout out to the chat. Uh,
Mm.
some of the colors on Spider Gwen, in hindsight, remind me of this movie. Like the way that stuff is like lit, and there's a lot of pinks, a lot of
Yeah, a lot of
cyan.
pastels. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. The ending fight scene in the dude's villa is like a classic. Like it's got like Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock. They like do like the tag team move, and they just whip a whole room's ass. It's amazing. I highly recommend it.
Never seen this, but
Mike,
I'm gonna watch it now.
oh dude,
Yeah.
I
Just,
ordered
on that alone.
man.
Yeah, on your
It's so
recommendation.
good. The funny thing about it though, has probably the funniest ending that I've ever seen in a thing. The papers, the documents, the
Mhm.
microfilm that the heroes were pursuing through the whole movie is destroyed, thus robbing the heroes of their evidence to stop the bad guy. The bad guy is laughing this whole time. He's like, I won. Y'all stupid. You're getting arrested. Ha ha ha. Get out of my house. And then one of the guys finds out that the bad guy killed his boy, and just grabs one of the cops' gun and just shoots him. Credits.
That alone is going to make me fire this up. Just
Like,
that
yo!
is fantastic.
Just straight up. It's like bam, bam.
Hey, the human cartoon says, "What up, 2-ton rock god?"
Ricky.
Yes, that's what's up. That's a good number.
Oh
two.
man. But yeah, that was my number 2. Yes, madam.
Yeah, you
Cynthia
made me watch
Rothrock,
that. Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh,
Yeah,
killing it.
seriously. I remember I don't think I've ever seen it, but I've seen clips of it.
Yeah.
And I just now going back, I'm just like, Michelle Yeoh was always
She was always
gorgeous.
dope.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always that girl.
Yeah.
Always.
Always. It never stopped.
Well,
Never. Face
just-
card never declined.
Never declined.
Facts.
Never.
Never.
It only accumulated value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to segue into my number 2,
Yes.
I am trying to choose, like, as Chris so effusively went out there and just
Big words.
yeah, SAT words, went out there and just showed love to Michelle. I'm like, oh, my number 2. Now I'm like, which one of these Michelle Yeoh movies am I going to choose? I'm going to choose this one. And I'm going to set it up. Picture it, Sicily, 1937. But I did that thing. No, picture it. 2001, I believe it was. The world is in love with bullet time. The world is in love with like people floating through the air and throwing karate kicks. There was a terrible Three Musketeers movie that basically pulled the same guy who did the choreography for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's my number 2. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is just a beautiful movie. You got people fighting on bamboo reeds, lilting. They're fighting in the air. They're flying. And it is, if someone said, hey, all those kung fu movies that you used to love when you were a kid, valid with a budget. And it is just one of the, I could just watch that movie over and over and over again. To this day, even though I've probably seen that movie about 4 times, I can't tell you what the damn plot of that thing
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
About it.
simply because it is just such a beautiful movie
Yes.
to watch. Because it's just constant, like, what are they doing? oh my God, that's beautiful. I don't know how they did that. Of course, it was wire work, but it's just so you can just tell the care that these people put into it. Um, and it kind of validated all of the hours that I spent watching movies in like the Ontario, uh, validated all the times that I begged my mother to get Sonny Chiba movies from Errol's video that goes way back.
Come on, Errol.
Errol's.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, every time I watch that movie, it just makes me happy because it just says, "Hey, you you had a good time, right? Yeah, you did. Well, here's something for you." Um, and I'm gonna do an honorable mention right off the bat. While I was going back and forth, I was like, should this be my number two? Uh, very close to a number two. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Ooh.
That's strong.
Such an incredible movie. Such an incredible movie. Um, can't lie, cried,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course
cried
you
at the
did.
end of it.
Yeah.
Um, basically, they solved family issues through multiverses, time jumps, and martial arts. I wish all families could do that. I really do. Um, that would have been my number two, but
You
just
can't go
while you were
wrong with
talking
either way
about,
you went on
yeah,
that.
with
Yeah.
either one,
Yeah.
either one.
Yeah.
But I just remember sitting in the movie theater, and maybe because I watched everything everywhere all at once on streaming, but I saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon on a big screen.
Right.
That's the way it.
That's the way you
absolutely
should see that.
be seen.
Yes.
So it left a bigger impression on me, although Everything Everywhere All at Once easily could be my number one, if not my number two. But the only reason that it's not my number one is because, hey Omar, it's your turn to go.
All right.
What is this on the next episode?
Next episode. These are the cliffhanger. What I'm
Did you
cracking
see how I
up
did
about.
that? I'm pointing at
I,
him
I do. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. The
Same bat channel.
exactly.
like-
Yes. Once again, great minds.
Mm.
I too had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as my number two.
Mm.
So I'm going to pivot. But a couple quick fun facts. I did not know this until I researched this. I forgot that it won the Oscar.
Yeah.
It was the highest grossing foreign film ever.
Wow.
And
Know that.
a foreign film that was actually universally embraced by Western audiences.
Mhm.
You know, at the time that this was like major at the time. But yeah, to your point, like, and it made, I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's Zhang. I want to say Z.
Zhang Zi.
Yeah.
Zhang Ji, yeah.
Just man, like
Overnight.
overnight, man. Just I can't say enough good things about her. Just
Yeah.
fantastic. This was my honorable mention. I'm gonna flip it into my number two, and it is Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. You got to throw them together because I'll be honest with you, I can't just go with one and put two over here, but there's less fight, and you all have seen this, there's less fight scenes in 2, but the stuff you get in 2, when you start getting into Pai Mei and you start getting into Uma Thurman, I forget, I'm drawing a blank on her, the woman she fights in the
Eye patch.
yes. What is
L
her?
Driver.
Yeah, thank you, L Driver.
Mm.
Just the whole thing. But the fact that they buried her
Snatched
alive.
the other eye.
Yeah, buried her alive. The fact that like it's everything you get in this in number 2, is also fantastic. The scenes with David Carradine where he's talking about he's doing a whole dissertation on Superman. Like, well, he's Clark Kent is his clothes. he's really Superman. Like there's just depth in this thing. But Kill Bill Volume 1 is just fight scene after fight scene after fight. And what's so powerful about Kill Bill is, well, one, the first time you see the bride, she's being shot. And so you're like, whoa, all right. Then from there, the fact that you can take something that is paying homage to all these other things and somehow we don't like take away from it, because it's like, oh man, she got on Bruce Lee's tracksuit. That gets me hyped, as opposed to like you could tell the care that they paid attention, that they cared about it. And just her scene with the Crazy 88s where she beats up an entire, room full of dudes and is like, your severed limbs, they belong to me now. And then the fights all the way through to, anything where it's like, I'm making a list, I'm scratching names off the list of the people I take out, is just 5 levels of Bruce Lee climbing levels to fight everybody. Like, is all of those wonderful things sort of rolled up into one. It's, just, I own those movies. I love them. It's the type of thing that, every few years I'm like, it's been a minute. Let me go in and pull those up. Fun fact, there is a fight scene that got cut that I wish they'd included in Kill Bill Volume 2, where David Carradine fights Michael J. White. And I wish, it's in the DVDs. It's in the cuts. Like, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube.
I have the DVDs.
Yeah,
but
man.
I don't think I've ever watched.
Pull that up. It is. It's okay. Yeah, man. That's. I'm like, why would you cut this? And you'll look at it, and I'm glad they at least included it on the DVD. But yeah, Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2.
I'm good with that.
Chris Scott. Your honorable mention.
My honorable
and then
mention.
your number one, sir.
Yeah. So, because my number one is a better, like a complete package movie that also comes with like dope ass fight scenes, that informed my honorable mentions list. The first one is Flashpoint with Donnie Yen. The only reason I'm a number one is because, like, as a movie, you literally are waiting about 45 minutes for a thing to happen. Just anything. However, that anything coincides with a chicken being put into a microwave that then explodes, killing a dude, and that just sets Donnie Yen off on a path of just violence. And it culminates. That's the C word that I was looking for. Look, a lot of big words up in this brain, and a lot of drugs have passed through it. So We're back.
All right. Yeah, we bring it back in.
Donnie Yen suplexes a guy in the park square into a washing machine. It's sick, and I highly recommend it. Just know that you might be waiting a little bit. You're going to stare at your watch a couple times. Give it time. Because after the chicken explodes, it's on. It's on the gas pedal, dude. It's amazing. And it culminates in probably one of the coolest fights that I've seen in a while. It's Colin Cho versus Donnie Yen, and they're just both. They start at the top floor of a house and they fight their way down it over the railing. It's amazing, and it is hard hitting, and it's violent, and it's like Donnie Yen just said, "What if I just double leg everyone?" And it's amazing. My second honorable mention, Rush Hour.
Huh. Okay.
I saw like a video essay recently that made me sort of reevaluate how I felt about it, because like as you grow, it's like, oh, okay, there was there was some weird racial stuff in that movie, but it was both ways racism. And like, if you grew up in a community where it was like black and an Asian population, like kind of like
Mhm.
coexisting, those are the kind of jokes that you told.
Facts.
Like,
Yeah.
everybody was in on it. Like, it's actually one of the, I don't want to say it's a truer depiction of a thing, because I don't want to give Brett Ratner that kind of credit,
Yeah.
but it's it ages better than people might expect. It's still really good. And then my third honorable mention, um, and the reason that it is on my honorable mentions versus Rumble in the Bronx is Rumble in the Bronx is like mostly a really dope, complete package movie until the hovercraft. But but Who Am I is, it's a one fight movie, and that fight is Jackie Chan on the rooftop versus those two dudes in the suits, because there's like boxing guy, and then there's a long-legged kick guy. And the way Jackie Chan has to like adapt his style to both of them, like because they both come at him like, like one at a time, and then when he beats both their asses, then they decide, you know what, tag team. And it's just, he has to like duck like high, and he has to jump like, it's dope. It's so dope. If you haven't seen it, go find Who Am I. Highly recommend it. um am I just going into my
Man,
number one
you
pick,
cooking.
or
You cooking.
okay,
Yeah, man.
all right. Number one is SPL or Killzone.
I don't know this one.
I don't know this one either,
It
but
is
I'm curious to hear where you're going.
it is the for a long time, it came out in like 2005 or 2006. For the longest time, it was as close as you could get to a Daredevil Kingpin fight on screen.
Mhm.
It's Donnie Yen as an inspector, trying to do whatever it takes to bring down the Kingpin. The Kingpin in this circumstance is played by one Sammo Hung.
Mm. Okay.
You know the table fight in Ip Man 2?
Yeah.
If I told you that this fight between him and Donnie Yen at the end of Killzone surpasses that, would you believe me?
Well, the fact that it's Donnie and Sam, like, yeah, it's not a stretch, but
It's
it's that's saying
it,
something. That's a
man.
statement.
It, the only like, it's so good, and like the tension is slowly ratcheted up throughout the whole movie. Like, there are multiple fight sequences in it. Like, Donnie Yen's fighting his corrupt police team. He's fighting thugs. Sammo Hung gets into fights with like corrupt captains and stuff. It's But the whole time we are building towards the crossing of these two paths, and when they do, Sammo Hung's big ass gets suplexed onto a glass fountain, and Donnie Yen gets thrown out of a window and kills a baby. It's amazing. What? It's dude, dude. Killzone's so good. It's so
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you any more about like the narrative stuff, but like, yo, there's a fight between Donnie Yen and oh god, I think it's Wu Jing. That was It's so good. He's in an all white suit. Donnie Yen's in an all black suit, and they fight in this beautifully neon lit alleyway, so you can just see blood everywhere. Wu Jing has a knife. It's like the biggest knife I've ever seen, and Donnie Yen comes in there with like a baton. It's just like cop tactics, cop tactics. It's so good. And I like, obviously I don't know this to be certain. I'm just hypothesizing here. I think Wu Jing was so good in this movie that they turned around and, like, spoiler, he gets got. He is not the same character. There's a sequel movie to this that stars Tony Jaa, and Wu Jing is like his brother, like the kin to his Ryu in that movie. I think I'm remembering that correct. It's been like a decade since I've seen Killzone 2. But highly recommend it. Both Killzone movies. Donnie Yen, just anytime he's like MMA fighting a dude in an alley, it's probably gonna be dope. It's
You had me at suplex on a fountain.
dude.
Yeah, I need that. I need that in my life.
Like it's almost so ridiculous that it takes you out of the gritty violence and realism and stakes of the fight itself, and then comes right back around on the escalator of quality, right back to the top. It's like, yo, he threw his fat ass. Wow. It's so dope.
Miss Batgirl 1313 has entered the chat.
I don't know her.
I was
Hello.
neither one of y'all know.
To you.
Oh, okay.
No.
I don't. I might
thank
need
you for
to know
watching.
names, but God bless
What
you.
did she say?
She said, "Woohoo!" Oh, and now she said it's Megan.
Oh, hello,
hi,
Megan.
Meg. I was like, I
don't know.
No, but welcome. But no, thank you. We're here. We doing the thing.
But yeah, that's my list.
It's a good
All
list.
right,
Go forth, Devon.
Strong.
You know what? You have taught. You have schooled. I will go look for it.
Yes.
All right. So I guess I'm up next.
Yes, sir.
So what? So I'm going to give my honorable mentions. One is a scene. One is okay. I'm just going to start with the scene. Daredevil, season 1, episode 2. Cut Man. The hallway fight.
Ooh,
where
yes.
Daredevil has to get the child, rescue the child from the clutches of the bad guys in one extended hallway fight scene. Oh
Cinema.
my God.
Yeah.
Cinema.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when that thing came out, like, so we're going to tell a quick story. So there was a point where I was downtrodden. I was down and out. And I got a new job, and I had basically saved money so that I could get myself back on track. And the first thing I did to reward myself was I got myself Netflix. And because I knew that Daredevil was about to come out that week. And that hallway fight scene, I can't even lie. The way my heart swelled, because it was just like, it felt like I could freaking breathe. Finally, after months of like struggle. And the joy that I had watching this thing, and it was like, this is what Daredevil is. Like, they just absolutely nailed it. Like, the fight choreography in that hallway scene was just like, oh, so damn good. So yeah. And at the end where he walks out with the child, bodies all over, it was like, this, the comics that I read, this is what this is on screen. Just felt so damn good. So yes, Daredevil, season 1, episode 2, Cut Man. That hallway scene stays here. Felt like winning. It really did. And I had to check. I had to check because I was like, is this a martial art? But according to Wikipedia and actual martial artists, this is a martial art. Boxing. Creed. The fight choreography in Creed, gorgeous. Like apparently Michael B. Jordan got knocked on his ass a couple of times because they were actually kind of fighting at real speed. But also at the very end, and this is why it is in my honorable mentions, there is a lot of toxic masculinity out there. A lot of what does it take to be a man? What constitutes a man? Is a man real if he wasn't raised by a father? And there is a scene in there where Rocky is trying to pull Creed out of the fight, and because he's like, I don't want to see you go the way of your father. I'm not going to have this happen to you. Like, you're all that's left from him that I've got. You're not going to die in this ring. And that's there's so what Adonis Creed says is like, no, you're not going to stop the fight. I need to know I wasn't a mistake. Dude,
Man,
Yeah.
the gasp I heard in that damn theater from
every fatherless man.
every fatherless man in that theater.
Yep.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like wiping away tears because I was like, I know. And when he makes his comeback, and even though he loses, at the end, he knows he's not a mistake, and he knows he's not a mistake because he fought through difficulty. He fought through the doubt, and he knows he's legit. That's enough to make that my number one. But it is not my number one. My number one, foreshadowing. Enter the dragon. Why?
The best John Saxon movie.
Yes.
The best John Saxon movie
Yes.
of all time. And I'll tell you why it is the number one. For this line, it's like a finger pointing away to the moon.
Don't concentrate on the finger. You'll miss
You
all
will
the
miss
heavenly
all that
glory.
heavenly glory.
Now, I ain't gonna do the voices, but I'm
I
with
did
you.
not do the voice.
I ain't do that.
Once he says that, the rest of the movie is just like floating on air, man. Just like floating on air. It's just, I've become Matthew McConaughey talking all of a sudden. All right.
All right.
What the hell?
No, but it was the first movie where I totally understood that fighting choreography can be beautiful. It doesn't just have to be like a bunch of like, it can be like, no, this is a beautiful thing. And the end scene in the House of Mirrors is still one of the greatest, not martial arts scenes of all time.
You know, because that old dude could not fight.
No, he could not fight. That was not what he was there for. He was just there to be awesome with a bear claw thing.
Mr. Handman.
Right. But when Bruce calms himself and it's like, there he is, and impales dude with the spear and just quietly walks away as he spins on the mirror. I didn't know killing a guy could be that cool. I really didn't. So for that reason, number one, Enter the Dragon.
Golf
Thank
clap.
Yes.
Golf clap.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Omar.
Yes.
It's time.
It is time. Once again, great minds. To the shock, I mean, you knew that before you even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I will throw this honorable mention out. The honorable mention I have for number one is really kind of hilarious. It's a Jim Kelly blaxploitation film called Black Belt Jones.
Yes.
For the theme song for the opening alone. They just if you have never seen it, go on YouTube, type in Black Belt Jones opening sequence, and I'll say you're welcome, in advance, on that. Jim Kelly, obviously Enter the Dragon is my number one, and I can't really I can't do like Devon broke it down. What else can you say? Yeah. The only thing I'm gonna try and do is just add a couple of things that make me like also and also this, relative to it. It's great because of these reasons too. First of all, John Saxon. The fact that you can make John Saxon look like he can fight is fantastic.
I believe he was a practitioner, though.
Was he really?
So that's John Saxon.
John Saxon was a beast. John Saxon, what I love about it is you get introduced to the three protagonists of the film in their environments, like in flashbacks. And so as they're all getting ready to go to Hans Island for the tournament, John Saxon is out having a round of golf and has to beat up people who are trying to get money from him because he's got gambling debts or whatever it is that he has. And like they really should have left him alone because he beats the crap out of it and then goes and completes his round, beats them up, and then goes. Jim Kelly beats up cops. He's just trying to do his thing, and they're like, where you going, Jig? Was kind of what they said. That's seriously, that's the line. That's a line from the film.
Yeah, I know.
He's got a passport. Where you going? Yeah.
Not you resurrecting slurs older than I was alive. Damn.
Yeah, man. Enter the Dragon. Jim Kelly beat up them cops. He beat that man down for saying that.
Yes. Damn. No one ever expects the J word.
Exactly right.
Much like the Spanish Inquisition, nobody expects the J word.
Oh God. So Jim Kelly beats them dudes down, and then of course Bruce has the scene that Devon's talking about earlier, where it's Lao's time, and what I love about this is you
also slaps the kid in the head.
Yeah, slaps him in the head a bunch of times for not, for like not keeping eye contact when he bows. What I love about the setup for this is one of those few martial arts films prior to what we get today. To your point, you get 5 deadly venoms. It's like, I don't know what it was talking about, but I just know that there was 5 deadly venoms, and there was a scorpion and a toad, and it was awesome. This was the first time, centipede, and that's what I know. And other is Ghostface Killer. That's all I know. Mystery of chess boxing. I don't know what it's about. I've revenge. You killed my father. This is the first time Bruce Lee goes in there with the British dude. British dude's like, we must take you to Hans Island. And Bruce Lee's like, how about we take a 45 and bang, settle it. And he's like, no guns. Han does not allow guns on this island. And Bruce Lee's like, come on, man. So you must go and fight, Bruce. And while you're there, you must find the opioids that Han is creating or whatever it is. What I love, too, is that he goes there, they all go there, and then you get O'Hara Whereas the revenge gets thrown into it, where O'Hara killed Bruce's sister.
Bill.
Yeah. Kills the sister. He's like, oh, it's on. You get just who's who of like what's also funny is when Bruce is beating up people in the final scene, one of the extras starts laughing as he's just whooping the man down, and they left it in, which is fantastic. Bruce Lee beat up people en route to go in to fight Han.
To touch on the person laughing, I might have it crossed up, but that might have been Jackie Chan.
Oh, Jackie Chan's in the flick. I know Jackie Chan.
He got like knocked out, and then
no,
Bruce
he got
said,
his neck snapped. Oh, he did get knocked out as well. In film, he got his neck snapped, but yeah, Bruce hit him for real, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but he didn't do it until they cut. Yeah.
But Jackie Chan was like, "No, you're Bruce Lee. You hit me. It's great.
It's fantastic, right?" The only thing I'm ever mad about with Enter the Dragon is that bird that caused the death of Jim Kelly. If the bird never gets in his way, because Jim Kelly had the hottest line, one of the hottest lines, because when Bruce says the art of fighting without fighting, the art of fighting without fighting, show me some of it. Don't we need more room? So anyway, I will quote the entire film. The Jim Kelly was like, "Man, you come straight out of a comic book."
It's the greatest line.
It's and was going to whoop Hans. There wouldn't have been no end scene.
No.
If not for that bird. That bird did him in. And then they dipped my man in acid. I'm like, come on, man. You ain't had to do him like that. You could have put Bruce Lee in the little prison down. Why not put Jim Kelly in there? I need him to be in Enter the Dragon too.
Did the skeleton still have the afro?
You know what? Yes.
Oh my God.
If you go back and you look at because they showed him to John Saxon.
I swear I thought my brain was being stupid.
Hans was trying. In fact, if you look at the movie poster for Enter the Dragon, they show it. Jim Kelly hanging with the afro, like that's on the movie poster. Because back then they ain't care. They're like, we don't care if we spoiled it. Hans was trying to recruit John Saxon into his opioid gang. And his way to do it was, hey, let me show you your best friend who I just murdered by putting him in acid. He's right there. And he pulls him out, and he's kind of just hanging there with the afro. And I'm like, the afro survived the acid.
The chemicals, baby.
The chemicals, yeah. Undefeated. Afro. Yeah. So, again, I'm in complete agreement with Devon.
All right.
In the Dragon, number one. But I was also tempted to throw. Chris, correct me. Is it IP Man or is it Ip Man?
Ip Man.
Ip Man. I was tempted to do Ip Man, and that was where I was like, we might have some crossover because I was thinking that's where I thought you were going with Donnie Yen.
Oh, dude, my whole list, depending on what day of the week it was, could have been all Donnie Yen movies.
Facts. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with Donnie Yen. It's just a beast.
Honorable shout out to Hero, by the way. Just for all the obvious reasons. Just the Rashomon of it all. It's a great movie.
Facts. Gentlemen, we have gone about 94. We've gone about 94 minutes.
I think,
and kept the super kicks to a minimum, which I'm really shocked given, us.
We've all learned, we've all grown, Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah, also big shout out to everybody who tuned in for this very first.
Absolutely. Give yourselves a round of applause.
You could be doing a million other things on a Friday night, but you're here with us and we appreciate it. We really, truly do. You're it. You're our reason.
I ain't gonna go that far, but I do love you.
Yeah,
I love
you. but you're the reason that we're here on a Friday night.
I was waiting. I was like, okay. I was like, which one? Chris, I think you're the only one that could have pulled that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the chops, for that.
Oh man, that ending high note though, like
So
at the end,
mhm.
I can't do that. I can't.
Yeah.
That's hard. Like again,
Me and the girls try and do it in the car all the time, and it's terrible. It sounds terrible every time.
So let's do this. We
Rico
don't know
said,
what the next
"Thank you,
episode
X-Men
is going to
97."
be.
It made it in. I wasn't gonna say
you
it,
need
but
the X-Men
yeah,
97.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm glad it made it in. Thank you,
Oh,
X-Men
Do
97.
you want one? Do you need one?
He was just saying, "Thank you, X-Men 97." I think he was.
Oh, but do you need one from the man who
Listen,
made
man,
the
this is yours.
Okay.
Like the spoiler alerts are Chris's. X-Men 97 thank yous, Devon, are 100% you. I just kind of set you up. I throw you to, I throw you to, the pass. You're Steph.
Here we go.
Yeah, please, sir.
Thank you, X-Men 97. Thank you. My girl has been able to afford the BBL that I have been looking so forward to.
The next time I see you, I'm gonna hit you with a hammer. Right in the middle of your head.
Oh yeah,
what's
so
up,
we're not
Hammer?
quite sure when we're going to be doing this again, but we will be doing this again.
Absolutely.
Because as quiet as it's kept, we're losing Omar on a daily basis to Jesus Christ. But
he's recommitting his spirit, and we will not make fun of his journey.
I do think that I can do, if we keep it to Fridays and we keep the super kicks to a minimum, I should be. But yeah, I'm going back to school for seminary. I need it, because of all the sins that I frequently
on this podcast.
Chest sin.
Yeah, there's so much sin that I've got to go to seminary to get right.
But we will be back very soon. As a matter of fact, how about this? Why don't you go to our Instagram page, which is Top Guys Pod, Top Guys Pod, and let us know what you would like for us to talk about next.
Yeah,
I like it.
We like lists.
Yeah,
lists are good.
Lists are
Those
good.
are good.
Yeah.
Good conversation.
Good conversation pieces.
Here's one suggestion: full discussion on what Vampire in Brooklyn is. What I guess, or maybe why on what Vampire in Brooklyn is cinematic excellence. Maybe she means why. Why it is cinematic excellence.
That means I would have to watch Vampire in Brooklyn.
I'd have to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in a long, long time.
Have
you ever seen it, Chris?
I was 8.
It's fair.
And 8-year-old Chris was like, "That's Eddie Murphy in a terrible wig. I ain't with that."
Yeah.
So no.
I could think of a million other movies with Angela Bassett in it that I would rather watch.
Strange Days.
Mm-hmm. Green Lantern.
Wait a minute.
Yo, she was
Amanda Waller. She is the first Amanda Waller.
Wow.
And it's a terrible movie.
I just put that out of my head. Like the totality of the flick. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I'd rather watch an episode of 911 than Vampire.
Yeah.
However, for Meg, I would watch. I would
watch it, but nobody else would.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, not to say that it's not to say that it's a bad suggestion. It's not the best suggestion.
But I mean, we can make a theme of it, though.
We can
totally
make
could.
a theme of it.
Black vampire film. We could do this. We could
totally do that.
There's something here.
There's something there.
Let's schedule that around Halloween.
Yeah, let's do
go.
that.
There we go.
Thank you,
All right.
man.
Thank you.
Black
Thank you, Miss
vampire
Batgirl.
films.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Of which I think there are 4. I think there's that one and then the Blade films.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to talk about the TV show, ain't we?
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Sticky fingers.
Sticky
Ooh.
fingers.
Sticky fingers.
Blade.
Sticky fingers. That's a JoJo's reference for those playing the home game.
It's nice.
So yeah, if there's nothing else, I think hey, like, subscribe, share,
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your mama,
Tell your dog.
tell your dog,
Mm-hmm.
tell them. Top guys, we real funny.
Yeah.
We're nice gentlemen. Well, mostly they're nice gentlemen. I'm a cad. I am. I was on the best
cad.
behavior day, but
He's
really.
a bounder. He's a scoundrel.
It's fantastic.
Oh, did either one of y'all see the new Beverly Hills Cop yet?
Yes.
Yes.
It's so good,
It's
right?
good.
Very
Very good.
Very
Yes.
good.
So good.
But see, here's the thing. Every time you think Eddie Murphy's back, he does something stupid. It just makes you just go, Ed, you had us, man. Like we're out here trying, bro. We really want to love you again. Don't make Coming to America.
Oh, that was a terrible movie.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
So bad.
Meg just said Blackula. And
Oh, Blackula.
We're absolutely. If we do Black Vampire Cinema,
Yeah.
we will talk about Blackula. Rest assured.
Absolutely.
if we do Blackula, since we're really theming around, and Devon, forgive me, I don't want to lose the Eddie Murphy coming to America. I think you're 100%. Right.
I want to lose it.
Yeah, I do want to lose it, and I feel like we've waited long enough, as the culture to not speak on it.
We've waited long enough as black people.
As black people to not speak on this. We juicy Smollett. We were like, we ain't gonna talk about it. Yeah. And that's out of respect for Ed, right? We were like, Ed, we love you so much that we ain't gonna talk about this. But now, we can speak on it a little bit and be like, yeah, don't do that no more. We back in in Eddie camp. But if we talking about Blackula in Halloween, I need us to talk about Blackenstein, which if you haven't seen Blackenstein, it is so terrible that it's great. Please, when you have,
what the hell?
Is
Blackenstein?
Blackenstein is Black Frankenstein.
Well, obviously,
yes. And a white man named David Lerner introduced me to Black. He was like, Omar, you must know of the goodness that is Blackenstein. And I was like, why do you have this?
He hated you.
I know.
He hated me so much that I loved it and I bought it on Blu-ray. That's how terribly awesome this movie is. It's so bad, it's awesome. I'm telling you, Blackenstein.
I mean, hey, I have no room to judge. I actually own The Adventures of Ford Fairlane on DVD. So yes.
Listen, I ain't mad at you on that either.
I am.
You mad that you bought it? That you own it?
I'm mad at myself.
You mad at yourself? Listen, you had to get it.
I don't believe in guilty pleasures because I feel like you should like what you like. However, I cannot watch that movie around other humans and still feel pride in myself as a man. It's a terrible movie. It's absolutely repellent. It's dog shit. It's Andrew Dice Clay as a, quote, rock and roll detective, and Morris Day is a featured side character.
Oh my God.
It's so bad.
I had no idea Morris Day was in this.
Listen, Morris Day was like, I'm going to get this check. I'm going to get it.
Everybody in that movie was like, I'm going to get this check. But
yeah,
I love it.
yeah, man.
Wow.
Listen, man, it's so bad that you have to love it.
No, it's not even so bad as good. It's just I'm a weirdo. It's yeah. But yeah, we'll get around to weird movie talk. One of these days.
But yeah, stay close to our Instagram account.
Yeah.
Top Guys
Stay tuned.
Pod. Yeah.
Stay in contact. We love you all. We're gonna let you go so you can watch SmackDown, and by that I mean so I can watch SmackDown. Y'all
Yes.
have a great night, and
Have
thank
a
you
great night.
so much for
Seriously, thank
Thank you
entrusting
for
us
being
with
here.
like
Yes.
a couple hours of your time.
Yes.
Thank you for
Bye.
letting us be part of your Friday.
Thanks, everybody. Peace. And we